Okay, isang magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Ngayon po ay August 12, 2022, Biyernes. Mabuhay po kayo. Welcome po sa The Stock Market Today. Ang ating balita na aking ibabahagi sa inyo ay tungkol sa earnings report ng Jollibee at ilang piling stocks sa Philippine Stock Exchange. Kung first time niyo po sa channel na ito, ako po si Benji Chodoro, isang retired bank officer na nagsimula mag-invest sa Philippine stock market noong 2007 at ginagawa ko po ito araw-araw at 2 taon na po tayo this August 25. Doon po tayo nag-start, no? 2020. Yan. At nire-report ko rin po ang latest news tungkol sa inyong paborito at pinaka-aktibong stocks. Kung gusto niyo po ng content, niimbitahan ko po kayo mag-subscribe sa ating channel at kung meron po kayong stocks na gustong ipa-review, paki-comment lang po sa comment box at ating ipa-prioritize. Hindi po ako financial advisor. Anything I say dito po sa ating channel ay hindi po financial advice. And get well soon to my cousin Mari at Tita Sam. We're also praying for you. Huwag kayong alis dahil ibabahagi ko sa inyo ang ating financial headlines at ang resulta ng trading sa ating PSE ngayong araw. Friday, August 12, dito lamang sa The Stock Market Today. Don't go away. Okay, so let's now go to our financial headlines at galing po ito sa BDO Securities. Philippines aims to become high-income economy by 2045. Ito po ay vision ni Secretary Arsenio Balisacan. Yan. JFC earnings reach 5.1 billion pesos in first half of 2022. Ito po ang ating main news. CNVRG earnings up 21% year-on-year in first half of 22. Cebu Pacific tapers losses to 5.9 billion in first half of 22. And JGS posts core net income of 2.1 billion in second quarter of 2022. Okay, so let's now go with JGS or Jollibee rather. Jollibee earnings, ito po yung ating main report. Jollibee net earnings up nearly threefold to 2.8 billion. Jollibee Foods Corp or JFC recorded a surge in its attributable net income to 2.79 billion in the second quarter, almost triple last year's 976.71 million after booking record high system-wide sales, it said on Thursday. We are pleased with our strong top-line growth led by our Philippine business, which delivered better than expected sales for the second quarter and got back to its pre-pandemic sales level, JFC Chief Executive Officer Ernesto Tanmantiong said in a press release. During the April-June period, revenues rose by 41.9% to 51.05 billion, while system-wide sales, which cover company-owned and franchise stores, were up by 44.8% to 73.15 billion. Growth of same-store sales was placed at 32.6%, new stores at 7.2%, and new acquisitions at 5% amid a favorable foreign exchange translation. The JFC Group's operating income reached 3.05 billion during the second quarter, more than double last year's 1.38 billion. Its international business posted an increase of 6.9% despite registering a decline of 29.5% in the same store sales in China attributed to restrictions related to the coronavirus disease or COVID-19. The company said practically all brands registered strong double-digit growth as demand bounced back with the easing of pandemic-related restrictions in many parts of the country. In the first half, the company's attributable net income hit 5.1 billion, more than 4 times the previous year's 1.13 billion. Okay, so yan po ang ating main news on Jollibee, which is good news. So mamaya tingnan po natin si Jollibee at gayon din naman yung ilang na feature dito, no? Si Converge, SEB, and JGS, pero uunahin natin syempre ang inyong mga request. Okay po. So, let's take a look at your comments here. Okay, si Norman, ang sabi niya, pwede po ba pasilip ng PCOR? Nagbenta na kasi ako ng stocks kanina. Now, naghahunting ako ng next stock na bibilin. Ang nakita ko ay si PCOR. Pasilip naman po kung goods ba siya bilhin since malapit na taglamig at tapos na yata ang rebalance crude oil sa world market. Long term po ang target ko. Salamat po. Okay, sige, tingnan po natin ang PCOR. Pero kung ako sa iyo, Norman, I would choose index stocks. Kasi PCOR is not an index stocks. Although petroleum, nasa sayo yun, no? If you wanted petroleum, no? The petroleum industry. But I would suggest, kung long-term investor ka, more on the index stocks. Say, halimbawa, yung magaganda dyan is Ayala Corporation, Ali, Meralco, PLDT, Metro Pacific, lahat po yan ay merong upside, ano? Yun po, no? Maganda pang bumili ng mga index stocks na ganon dahil yan po ay nasa index, ano? At nagiging barometer po ng Philippine economy. Pero, sige po, tignan po natin si PCOR. And then, next, Sir Ben, pa-review po ng JGS. Sige, sama po natin. Ito po yung request ni Michael Toralde. Salamat po sa review. Laki po ng tulong sa akin as newbie po kasi si Norman din po ito, no? And then si Raquel Rob Brigado. Good evening po, sir. Pag overbought po ba, di na good to buy? Thank you po and God bless. Hindi naman. Ang sinasabi lang ng overbought ay masyado na siyang bugbog na marami na siyang buyers. So, meron ng possibility na magbago yung trend. So, ito po, no? Tignan po natin yung definition po from Investopedia, no? About the relative strength index. The relative strength index is a momentum indicator used in technical analysis. RSI, or relative strength, measures the speed and magnitude of a security's recent price changes to evaluate overvalued or undervalued conditions in the price of that security. RSI was displayed as an oscillator from a scale of 0 to 100. The indicator was developed by J. Wells Wilder and introduced in his seminal 1978 book, New Concepts in Technical Trading Systems. The RSI can do more than point to overbought and oversold securities. It can also indicate securities that may be primed for a trend reversal or corrective pullback in price. It can signal when to buy and sell. Traditionally, an RSI reading of 70 and above, ito po yung sinasabi kong overbought, 70 and above, indicates an overbought situation. A reading of 30 or below, ito po yung oversold. So, pagka overbought, maaring signal po yan. It can be also a signal sa stock na mag-reverse or mag-pullback, mag-consolidate or mag-pullback. So, yan po yung ginagawa ng oversold at overbought. Pagka 30 and below, maaaring magkaroon ng trend reversal kasi pababa po yung stock pagka 30 and below. Maaaring po magkaroon ng trend reversal from a downtrend to an uptrend. Ang overbought din, maaaring magkaroon ng trend reversal from an uptrend to a downtrend. Yan. Yan po ang ibig sabihin nun. So, some ginagawa po niyang signal po yan to buy and sell. Pero yung iba, ginagawa po yung indicator na, nagta-taper off na yung overbought. O pagka-overbought, nagta-taper off na po yung presyo at mukhang magko-consolidate o bababa yung presyo. Pagka-oversold naman, magkakaroon na ng panibagong trend from a downtrend to an uptrend. Yan po ang ibig kong sabihin ng overbought at oversold at pag-interpret ng relative strength index or RSI. So, magbigay po tayo ng isang example ng overbought. Ito po yung nakita ko. Yesterday, ito pong Bloom. So, tumaas po yung RSI. Nasa 76 po kahapon at overbought po siya. So, may possibility na magkaroon po ng trend reversal. Conversely, kung titingnan po natin yung Ali, ito po, meron po siyang oversold dito noong May 13. Yan. So, ibig sabihin, posibleng magkaroon ng from a downtrend, hindi siya definite, maaaring nag-consolidate lang. Halimbawa, noong May 22, ang RSI nasa 19, meaning oversold, pero nag-consolidate lang siya, tumaas pero bumagsak ulit. Yan. So, dito po, July 15, nasa 25, pero mukhang nag-recover na siya pataas. Yan po ang ibig sabihin nun. So, kasabay po ng oversold ay nag-consolidate at tumaas, pero bumaba siya ulit. So, nung June 22, oversold siya dito, nasa 28, pero tumaas lang sandali, pero bumaba ulit. Oversold ulit siya dito nung July 15, bumaba, pero ito completely nag-reverse na siya kasi tumataas na yung RSI. So, ganun lang po yun ang overbought and oversold position. Okay po? So, sana po ay nasagutan ko po ang iyong tanong, Raquel. So, let's now go to the Philippine Stock Exchange Index. Before we get to the Philippine Stock Exchange Index, let me share with you lang yung ilang mga bagong studies dito. The first one is Cebu Air or SEB. And BDO-SEC, meron siyang maintain neutral top-line rebound offset by higher fuel cost. So, halos walang implied upside to, dahil halos mahihit na niya yung target price niya of 48 with a 45.20 yesterday. So, the next one ay Converge. Maintain buy with a lower target price. So, nilower niya from 37 to 30. And the closing price is just 20.95 yesterday or modest upside of 43%. The next is Emperador. So, nag-resume yung kanyang coverage pero neutral yung kanyang rating. Halos walang upside, 1950 lang po yung target price niya. At halos walang implied upside po ito. Okay, next and finally we have Mega World. Keep buy on compelling valuations. So, yung target price niya of 480, binabaan niya to 420. Pero, ang implied upside naman ay mataas pa rin, 74% based on yesterday's closing price. So, yan po ang mga pwede nating i-consider na stocks. So, let's now go to the Philippine Stock Exchange Index. Yan. But before we go to the index, may I share with you this news which I just saw today, Ito from Philstar. Actually, kahapon pa po ito. Cease of SM wealthiest title in Forbes 2022 list. So they retained their number one spot, The Forbes list of the Philippines' wealthiest featured the same names in the annual ranking, so minimal movement. So number 1 ang C siblings, which had a 12.6 billion dollars po ito, no? Hindi po pesos. And the next one is Manny Villar, which had 7.8 billion dollars in wealth, all in dollars po ito. Landing third was Enrique Razon and his logistics empire, slightly down at 5.6 billion. And then rounding up the top were Lance Gokongwei and siblings at 3.1 billion, Aboitiz family at 2.1 billion, all dollars po. Isidro Consuni and siblings 2.65 billion, Tony Tan Catyon, the owner of Jollibee, 2.6 billion, Jaime Sobel de Ayala of Ayala, 2.55, Ramon Ang of San Miguel, 2.45, and Andrew Tan of Emperador, ano? Yan, Andrew Tan of Emperador, 2.4 billion. Okay, so let's now go to the Philippine Stock Exchange Index on what happened today. At i-refresh lang po natin ito, no? Yan. Okay, the Philippine Stock Exchange Index gained 18.98 points or 0.28% up. So almost 67,000 na po, no? Nasa 6699.66. Slightly a short green candlestick lang kasi mukhang nag-profit taking today, no? Friday. At mas mataas po yung volume niya today. Lagyan natin ng indicators. Yan. So bullish na po ang ating PSE index. Yung ating medium at short term nasa ilalim na po. At lumagpas na po ang kanyang presyo sa 100-day exponential moving average. Nasa 69.86 ang RSI. Samantala naman ang ating market activity, 119 companies ang umabante, 77 ang bumaba, 46 ang hindi nagbago. Ang all-share index ay tumaas din ng 0.38%. Samantala naman, yung ating financials, holding companies, industrials, mining at services ay umakyat. At ito'y pinangunahan ng financials at 1.43, ngunit ang properties ay bahagyang bumaba, nasa 0.23% ang kanyang baba. So ngayon, tingnan po natin ang ating re-reviewing stock. At unahin po natin ang PCOR, JGS, JFC, Converge, Cebu, or SEB, and Ali. Yan, tingnan po natin ang mga stocks na ito. Starting with PCOR. So, technicals lang po tayo dito. At kung meron pong fundamentals, yan, tumaas si PCOR, ha? Tumaas siya, nasa 3 pesos, gaining 9 centavos, and with volume, meron po itong breakout today. At, tingnan natin, yung ating support. Yung lower support ay nandito po sa 283. Yung higher support nandito po, malapit po sa area to. Yan, nasa 291. Pero ang pinaka-resistance po ay nandito sa 308. Tingnan natin kung may study siya, no? I don't think may study si BDOSEC dito. Hindi siya covered. Petron Corporation. Wala. Hindi siya covered. So, technicals lang po tayo, and yung kanyang short-term indicator ay nasa ilalim na po. So, on the short term, ay umaakyat po yung stock. Pero, pagdating po sa medium at long term ay bearish pa po ang kanyang dating. Samantala naman yung kanyang RSI ay 55. So, above the midpoint. So, merong nagsho-show po siya ng upward trend. So, yan po yung Petron Corporation. Pagkatapos naman ay si JGS. Yan. So, sideways to bullish ang kanyang movement at ang kanyang support ay makikita natin dito sa area to. Yan. Nasa 51, almost 52 ang kanyang support level. At samantala naman yung kanyang resistance nearest ay nasa 54.95 resistance level, halos na po ito, no? At yung higher resistance ay nakikita ko po dito sa 59. Yan po si JGS, and bullish to sideways po ang kanyang movement at ang RSI is slightly above the midpoint na sa 54. So 50 po ay halos, well, hindi siya pababa, hindi siya pataas. Pero pagdating po ng 70, overbought na po yan, and 30 is oversold. Okay? So si JGS po, yan po ang kanyang movement. Bullish to sideways or sideways to bullish. JFC. Then, at may earnings. Wow, ang ganda ng JFC, ha? Meron siyang breakout kahapon. Nag-breakout po siya. At from sideways to bullish, naging bullish po. Ha? Kasi po, eto po, yung kanyang earnings report ay lumabas kahapon. At ganun din naman, nagkaroon siya ng 6.88% increase sa kanyang stock. And nag-open po siya 216, natapos po siya sa 233, and this is a breakout. It is the highest. Ito po ang pinakamataas since April 6, 2022, at normally po pababa po si Jollibee. So yung pinaka-support, yung pinaka-resistance niya dati ay ito, 217 na naging support. At ngayon, yung kanyang next resistance level ay resistance area na po. 232 is the 23183 yung nandito eh. Pero 232 is actually resistance level already, no? Support and resistance, hindi po yan exact points, but these are areas. And the next higher resistance, 244. Yan po. So, overbought na po si Jollibee, pero merong tendency po yan na tumaas pa dahil meron pong momentum eh. Tingnan po natin si Directional Movement Index. Okay, so wala pa siya, no? So, maaring magkaroon ng pullback po ito si Jollibee or consolidation dahil yung DMI po niya ay hindi pa po nag-show ng definite directional trend. Yan po. Si JFC. And then Converge. By the way, before we go to Converge, let us check the fundamentals. Ano? JFC, Jollibee Foods, there's a buy rating. Price at 250, wala masyadong upside, 7.3% lang. Pero this has to be updated, I suppose. Sige, next, Converge. Naku, breakdown. Mukhang nagkaroon siya ng breakdown dito. And, yan. Okay, bearish po yung RSI. Bearish po ang dating sa akin dito eh. So, yung ating resistance level nandito po sa 22. At ang support nandito po sa area to. Nasa 1870. More or less at bearish po yung kanyang dating dahil nasa taas po yung ating mga indicators, no? Nagkaroon po siya ng breakdown. May balita ba to? I think market sentiment lang to eh. Kasi lumabas na yung earnings report dito eh. Teka. Material information baka meron siya dito. Presentation material, analyst investor briefing, August. Results held on August. Wala siyang details dito. Tignan natin yung press release. Okay, Converge delivers solid year-on-year revenue growth at 36.3%. Kumita naman. Okay, pero So mukhang bumaba yung book value per share niya. Earnings per share, okay. Bumaba siya from last year pero tumaas siya quarter on quarter. So that's why bumaba yung bumaba yung presyo niya. So the earnings report is lower than the previous quarter and the previous year. Kaya the previous current year to date is higher than last year. Pero quarter on quarter ay tumaas. Yeah, tumaas siya. So probably this is just market sentiment. Yan. Next we have Cebu or Cebu Pacific. Nag-trim siya ng loss eh. Yun, may breakout din to. Cebu Air net loss down. Okay. So yung pinaka-support ay yung dating resistance niya dito. Nasa 43.50 yung dating resistance. And the next resistance level ay nakikita ko dito sa 48.04. In the meantime, yung kanyang level niya ngayon ay resistance level po. 45.44. Yan. And the support is 43.49. So, overbought na po ang stock. Nasa 71. Yan. Earnings report is loss po ito pero lumiit yung kanyang loss. Then, finally, we have Ali. Ali, I think, is recovering. Yes, it's recovering. And yung short and medium term, nasa ilalim na po ng candlestick. Ibig sabihin, on the short and medium term, the stock is bullish. Pero it has to reach pa yung 100 days na moving average. At bullish po yung kanyang RSI. So, in the meantime, ang pinaka-support level niya nandito sa 27, samantalang ang nearest resistance ay nandito po sa 32. RSI is bullish at 65. So yan po ang ating report sa stock market ika-12 ng Agosto. Ito po si Benji Chodoro nagpapaalala, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Maraming salamat sa inyong pagsubaybay at hanggang sa muli. Happy weekend, stay safe. God bless. Bye for now.